So, in the whole world of blockchain, there's this one huge challenge that always comes up. How do you actually connect the profits you make in the digital world to real-world, tangible businesses? Well, today we're going to break down the presentation for a platform called SynteraX. They claim they have a solution with their core engine, something they call the Xflow ecosystem. We're going to look at what it is, how they say it works, and the opportunity they believe it represents. So let's just start with the main problem they're setting out to solve. And that question is, really, how do you bridge the gap? How do you take the value being generated in the digital world of blockchain and connect it to something you can actually see and touch in the real world? This is the central puzzle that their whole presentation is trying to solve.
All right, so first things first, what is SynteraX exactly? Let's take a look at how the platform actually defines itself based on their own source material.
So SynteraX calls itself a global distribution platform. And you got to pay attention to a couple of key phrases here. Real Web3 infrastructure and proven ecosystems. The big emphasis on systems that are already up and running and, according to them, are already generating real-world results.
Okay, so this slide really breaks that mission down into three big ideas. First up, giving people access to what they call institutional-grade infrastructure. Second, letting them participate in existing ecosystem opportunities that are already out there. And third, providing tools to help people build and scale their own global networks. These three things are really the bedrock of what the platform claims to offer. Okay, but how do they plan on pulling all this off? Well, according to their materials, everything, and I mean everything, centers around this one core ecosystem called Xflow. So let's pop the hood and see what this engine is all about.
All right, let's dive into the Xflow ecosystem itself. The tagline they use is where tokenized value meets real-world infrastructure, which, brings us right back to that huge question we kicked things off with.
Okay, so this is the big picture, their whole model laid out on one slide. Now, I know, it might look a little complicated at first glance, but it really just boils down to three interconnected pillars. We're going to break this whole diagram down, piece by piece, to see exactly how it's all supposed to fit together. So let's talk about those three pillars, right? You've got the foundation layer, the ecosystem verticals, and this thing they call the value flywheel. Let's tackle the first two. All right, so the foundation, that's built on a really limited number of what they call Genesis licenses, just 3,000 of them in total. The whole idea here is to create some scarcity, Give those early holders a key spot. And then you've got the second pillar, the ecosystem verticals. Now these are the real-world businesses that are supposed to be the engine for the whole thing. We're talking AI data centers, crypto mining operations, institutional trading, and even a decentralized exchange, or DEX. These are what generate the revenue for the system. And all that revenue, it gets fed into the third, and honestly, the most crucial pillar, the value flywheel. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, the concept itself is pretty simple. Just think of it like a self-powering loop where the activity in the ecosystem generates revenue, and that revenue gets plowed right back in to grow the value of the whole system for everyone who's a part of it. And here's how they say that loop works, in 4 steps. Step 1, people use the platform and that activity generates revenue. Simple enough. Step 2, they take that revenue and use it to buy back their own tokens, and then burn them, which basically means they're gone forever, taken out of circulation. So what does that do? Well, that leads to step 3. By getting rid of some tokens, the total supply shrinks, creating scarcity, which, in theory, could make the ones that are left more valuable. And finally, step 4 wraps it all up. Token holders who stake their tokens, lock them up for a bit, they get rewards. And that gives people a reason to hold on, which keeps the whole cycle going. So, okay, that's the how. That's the mechanics of the whole system. But the presentation doesn't just stop there. It puts a huge emphasis on why now, making the argument that timing is absolutely everything.
So, yeah, what's the big rush? According to them, what makes this moment so special for this kind of tech?
They point to 3 big things driving this urgency. First, they're saying that regulations are finally starting to clear up, which is bringing a whole new level of legitimacy to the crypto space. Second, you've got this massive explosion in things like AI and decentralized systems, and that's just creating all these new business models. And third, and this is a big one, they're making the case that we are still super early, like ground floor early, when it comes to blockchain adoption. And to really hammer that point home, they use this quote. They're literally comparing this moment in blockchain to getting in on the internet back in the 90s, right before it went completely mainstream. And that brings us to our final section, the big call to action, which, interestingly, comes right alongside some pretty important disclaimers. And the marketing message here is crystal clear.
secure your position today. It's all about reinforcing that idea of urgency we just talked about, that in spaces like this, it's the early birds who get rewarded, not the people who wait around.
But, and this is a really big but, you have to look at that call to action right next to this legal disclaimer. It's super important. It spells out that SynteraX is just a marketing platform, not your financial advisor. And maybe most importantly, it says that digital assets have a substantial risk of loss, and that absolutely no returns are ever guaranteed.
And that right there, that leaves us with the core dilemma of this whole presentation, doesn't it? On one side, you have this incredibly powerful pull of being an early adopter, getting in on the ground floor of what could be the next big thing. And on the other side, you have the risks spelled out right there in black and white. So it really leaves a final question for anyone looking into this space. How do you balance that incredible promise against that very real stated risk?